excited. My name is Baer. You may know me from League of Heels and foring it and various other nonsense things that I do here. I am an actor in New York and love video games, and I do not work in the games industry, which gives me the freedom to not have to just promote the product that I'm working on. I get to do weird things like yell about anime that I love. Jacob, you also get to yell about anime you love, and then you can definitely promote the games that you're here to promote. And by here, I mean PAX, not necessarily this room, but also this room. So this came about in two ways. One, I'm tired of people that know me well and look at my social media, I know they do, being like, oh, I just discovered this thing that I had been yelling about and demanding they watch for months. Like, don't tell me this week you just started watching Isaacin. You should have been watching Isaacin since it premiered, because I won't shut up about how Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin is the only good show this season. There are a couple, yes, you're right, it's not the only good one, it's just the great one. I was tired of that, and then also I was doing a panel at PAX Unplugged where I just started promoting a panel, an anime about tabletop. There's an anime, we're not going to talk about After School Dice Club now, but it's lovely and it's about how awesome tabletop is. And I was at a tabletop convention and I was like, did you know there's an anime about the thing you like? And that's the broader thing that I'm going to talk about in this hour. There's an anime about the thing you like. If you like bicycles, there's an anime about that. There's only 3 and they're all great. If you were on a diving team in high school, there's an anime about that. If you just wish that someone in your life loves sumo wrestling as much as you do, there is an anime for that. So we'll talk about a bunch of different things. I do want to introduce our panelists from Loading Ready Run, Corey Dickinson. Hello, Corey. Corey, you don't have to I'm not asking you to prove why you should be here, but if there's an anime factor thing about yourself that you want to let the audience know about, you can do that here.
I was too young to watch anything and proceeded to watch everything. Then ran an anime club for a number of years.
Okay. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Jacob, hello. Please round of applause for Jacob here. Voice actor, community manager, game Ben hit his microphone, it's fine.
I got so excited for you.
Thank you so
I was just like, yeah, Jacob! And just fuck yeah! Me!
Hi, my name is Jacob Burgess. I'm a voice actor, a games writer, and the community manager and director of operations for User Games, an indie game publisher. We just released World of Horror on the 20th. It's like Junji Ito and the Cthulhu Mythos fucked and had a horrible baby. You ain't gonna clap after you play it, you're just gonna cry. It's really fucking good. I used to work at a comic book shop in upstate New York, and I used to get, the VHS tapes used to come over from Japan, because there were fan subbers and dubbers in Japan that would ship them over illegally, and I used to buy those, and the first anime I watched was Bubblegum Crisis, and I haven't watched it since, so I remember it being really good, and I'll never watch it again, so I can remember it being really good. I'm also a voice actor, and I have never done a dub. Be sad for me!
I'm genuinely surprised.
Oh no, it's mostly because where I live. It's either LA or Texas is where that's based. But that's another panel talking about voice acting. I like you very much.
Okay. And Ben Ulmer, please, from Loading Ready Run. Hello, Ben.
Hi.
And of course, your own streams as well.
Yeah, I'm also on Team Loading Ready Run. I do a lot of streaming and other various goofy content. We just did a show called Road Quest, which is very cool. We had $10,000 to buy 3 cars and drive them all the way to the Yukon, which is very north of Canada. For any people who don't know Canada geography, we don't blame you. My experience with anime is weird. I don't frequently watch it as much as I want to, but I traveled around Canada performing in an improv group at anime conventions for about 3 or 4 years, and picked up a lot of fun. Picked up a lot of really fun stuff, and I'm kind of on the panel to sort of talk about my puberty of anime, like how I blossomed into a beautiful anime boy.
You did describe that as
Yeah.
that was what your vibe was going to be, and I did like it then, and I still like it now. That's a great vibe to have.
I never want to go through anime puberty.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful time.
Get that anime growth spurt.
Yeah, Jacob sat me down and talked about I don't know, what's the anime equivalent of the birds and the bees?
Birdzu Tobizu.
Sure.
I'm sorry, my document closed, and that is just rude of it.
What do you call a fish with no eye?
What?
Oh man.
Okay, so, basically I asked my panelists to select some anime they want to talk about. We'll show some clips, we'll talk about it, and while we won't yell all the time, the energy is there that we are yelling, because we still have PAX left. I can't ask people to scream for an hour, but understand that there is an element of desperation behind all of this, of just like, please just watch the things, they're good, please. And yeah, so we're gonna yell about anime, there will be swearing. I know that there are many kinds of anime that are for all ages. There are also anime that are not for everybody. So we're gonna be positive, but if there's some bullshit, we're gonna tell you about it. And we will answer the question, if applicable, is there a Mineta? Now that might be a literal character in this anime that I'm like, hey, look, Fire Force is fun, but there's a girl that has an unfortunate quirk to her life, where she just keeps getting naked all the time, and that sucks. It fucking sucks. A show that I really like but can't recommend because there's that one girl who just has terrible sexual innuendo accidents. That's the Mineta. So sometimes the Mineta, you just feel bad.
Like that's her power?
No, it's an
it's
accident. She's a witch and she has like lecherous accidents, so like face boobs, face crotch, she'll roll over.
See, that's
and
interesting because I've
she'll
like
show up.
100% watched a hentai where that's a good thing.
Yeah.
No, this is like a shonen thing about being firefighters with fire powers.
Cool. Wait, hold on.
Look, we can't, but
Sorry, okay. Yeah.
but please
That's
understand
another panel.
that sometimes the Mineta is like the caveat that you need. Like you know that show that you told your friends about, and then you have to be like, and then this happens, and like this happens, like this show is great, except at one point the youngest characters play like Twister, and it sucks. It like really sucks, and you're like, Dragon Maid's kind of great, and but there's that part that just sucks. There's a Mineta, and yeah, and sometimes the Mineta is like, man, I don't know, you shouldn't watch this. Sometimes the whole show is Mineta. Anyway, I'm gonna start by talking about New Game, which is an anime. Yeah, all right. It's an anime about a video game studio, so that is my quota of anime about video games. So it is a New Game, is the story about Alba. She's the one purple there in the center, and she doesn't go to college. Instead, she fulfills her dream of working at a game studio, small game studio. And it turns out that she just works with a bunch of various different kinds of otaku. They're all lovely ladies, and in fact, there are no gentlemen in the entire show. In 2 seasons, there is a younger brother at one point, and then there is a Power Ranger equivalent that is male, but everybody else is ladies. And at one point they do ask, why is there only ladies? And it's very clear that it's for a better work environment, but no, this show's just very gay. And it's also like really layered. So this is a little gag from the show. So this may be a bit triggering if you work at as a game publisher or game studio, but then also there's this. So you're like, oh, that's really funny. Her sleeping bag is just a bear costume, but yes, she's also going to sleep in the office overnight. So you're like, oh. And you'd be like, that's a really funny one gag in this like fun slice of life. No, that becomes a game mechanic in the game they're making because it's great. So that becomes like wearing this costume is something in the game, and then there's just. lot of characters interacting with each other oddly because they're all have their own weird kind of don't belong anywhere else, happy to be together. There's lots of different cool characters that interact really well. And as I said, now while most of this show is subtext in that there are so many fan theories of the various pairings that are all accurate and true, and I do not disagree with any of yours. There's one that's just like, canon. Rinko is played for last, but Rinko is also canon and it rules. The only problem with New Game is that it's New Game with exclamation point, and the second season is called New Game 2 exclamation points and not New Game Plus, which is a fatal flaw. While I understand the trope of adding exclamation points with seasons, because like working is up to like 6 or whatever.
Nichijou started with 8.
Yeah. Call it New Game Plus, you cowards. But yeah, there's no Mineta in this show. Well, the closest thing to Mineta is there is a character that, which is a thing in Japanese culture, is obsessed with guns. That's her thing, is she loves guns. And if you absolutely can't deal with that, then that is a Mineta. So I will say that. But this show is just lovely and great and wonderful and like I love slice of life. I'm gonna keep talking about slice of life shows in this segment in my time. But yeah, New Game, it rules. And then we're gonna move on. Corey.
Woo! Yeah, okay, so, Bokurano, if you want to tear it up sad style. It is a giant robot fighting show. This group of middle schoolers exploring some caves, run into this guy who's like, hey, want to try out my new video game? Sign this NDA contract. And then they get to pilot a giant robot. Each of them gets like a little special chair that represents them. They each get a turn. The episodes often focus on like just one of them. So there is definitely some warnings about violence, suicide, children dying, sexual assault, and entropy. I guess the Minato would be the little mascot character that floats around named Dung Beetle, because he's just a huge, huge jerk to everybody, even though he's also kind of fun.
Do you want to play a little audio?
Sure, yeah.
Oh yeah, the song, right?
I mean, this song is,
It's a bop.
it's so good. So the thing with mech anime is that mech anime lives this weird dichotomy where it's like giant robots, hell yeah, but at what price? Is all mech anime just about? Just about. And this one is really, but at what cost?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how far will you go to save the planet, basically?
Yeah.
Are you willing to, like, murder somebody? If you had a giant robot and you had a grudge on someone, would you leave the fight and go just stomp on some people? Oh, and there's some bullying for overweight kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the opening just never fails because just the hair stands up on my arms, and then the ending is just there so that you can have some space to cry.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go to that now.
I haven't seen one smile. Oh, there's one.
These are the chairs that they pilot from.
This is one of the like one of those ending themes that like something awful just happened and then you cut to that. Like the anime Another does that too, where it's just like weird twist, kind of pretty music, and you're like, oh no, what?
Yeah.
That's basically the entirety of watching Death Parade, though, isn't it?
Yes, Death Parade is another one of those.
Yeah.
Those are the chairs they pilot that...
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they mugged an IKEA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy has a little child stool. It's to represent like themselves.
Oh my god.
If you were an IKEA chair, what would you be?
A gachanaka.
I can't deny that's not a chair.
It's nice.
I'd be a poang.
I feel like I would sit on a Carl.
Yeah, Carl's a thing.
Yeah.
Whatever you're into, man.
Corey, you have anything else you definitely gotta get out there about this one?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful and interesting and different, even though it sounds a little bit like Madoka.
Yeah.
Wait, they're not in the chairs anymore.
Oh, they spend a lot of time not in the chairs.
Oh, no.
A lot of those chairs get empty. A lot.
Look at the image I picked. Come on.
So happy.
You're like, oh, there's a cute little thing. No one is happy. Everyone's got, well, we're gonna do this face.
Yeah. And sometimes when they start off, they don't even know what they're doing. They're just like, what? I just killed someone? Oops.
Oops.
Yeah. Gotta deal with that now.
Jesus Christ.
I couldn't make it all the way through. I got too sad. That's how I know the theme song, and then I'm like, oh, I'm just dead inside. But it's a great show. It's very, very good.
I'm glad you like it. I'm not gonna fucking start.
Well, speaking of shows that I'm glad you liked it, I don't know, that's not a good transition. Jacob, Fullmetal Brotherhood, quite possibly the most well-known anime we'll talk about tonight, possibly. In that it also was on television here in the U.S. That's what I'm saying. That was not. Please don't be mad at me.
No, he's just doing his, I'm about to make loud noises face. No, I'm just warming the stage up for you.
God damn it. I'm gonna make loud noises now. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is something I desperately, desperately like. I love watching anime. I fucking love watching anime. I love watching anime I can watch safely while knowing what the fuck is going on, or at the very least, where I can invest something and not have my heart fucking ripped out. Now, I picked Brotherhood instead of the other one because I like my anime like I like my overtures, with canon. Now,
That was really good.
thank you very much.
Yeah, keep going. You're on a roll.
Thanks a lot. You know what's really good when somebody's on a roll?
Interrupting them.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And telling them they're on a roll. Shut your... No. So, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is something, again, I enjoy very, very much. But I'm here, all of the anime that I have picked comes with warnings. They are excellent. The worlds are rich. They are deep. Things that are in them generally make sense. There is internal cohesion. Love no one. If you find yourself enjoying a particular character, take that part of your heart out back and kill it. For it will come for you by the end of the show. This show does something very, very well. It terrifies you with meat. Yes, you fucking know. And if you don't, you've been warned. This is an excellent show, and I recommend it very highly. Do not marathon it. Have a stiff drink or something comforting close by, and enjoy, or don't enjoy, I'm dead inside now.
Jacob, do you want to show them something cute from the show? You said you sent me a video clip. No! Do you want to show that video clip? It's not the video clip you think I'm going to show because you don't know that I'm not a monster. But it's a very fun video clip, and then other stuff happens in the future that isn't great. But in the moment that we're going to show you, it's real nice.
But you know I'm a monster. Play the clip. those of you that haven't watched it kind of want to now.
I almost started crying. I just thought, I was like, ah!
I didn't think you were gonna show that part. Because FMA fans have one joke.
Yeah, Ben, that's what I alluded to without saying.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's some not great stuff in there.
It will scare you with
There's some real fun stuff, and there's some characters that interact, and you're like, this is the best, this rules. And then like you're like, oh, that was weird, and oh, that's dark, and oh, I knew you were a bad guy. I knew it. And then there's also a time where you're like, this is the choice you made. I would not have predicted this choice, and this makes me so sad.
And then meat happens.
Yeah. Anyway,
Meat.
Ben, you said you wanted to talk about an anime about a band.
Yeah!
Oh shit! Oh shit! We popped in.
All right, I made a new best friend. Let's hang out. So the year was, I don't remember what year it was, but I was a young child and I was on a trip with my family skiing, and I don't know how to ski still. And on the ski trip, I was skiing on down the hill, snowboarding to be fair, because I was an idiot. And I ran into a, thank you, take the sharp thing away
Yeah,
from
you're
me.
slapping
Yeah.
the table a lot. That's a pin. You put it down. What are you doing?
You're my
By the
secret.
way, you're on a roll. Good job.
So I ran into a tree and became very concussed. But my family was like, that sucks, we're still gonna go ski. So I hung out in my hotel room and watched TV. And I turned it on to Much Music. And this was back when they actually showed music-related content. And they were doing a marathon of this show, and it was called BECK Mongolian Chop Squad. And if you're not familiar, effectively what the show is it is about a young boy who's got a lot of anxiety and emotions becoming a musician. And it's really, really, really cool. For those of you who are fans of like Your Lie in April, or I think there's that new Netflix show, Carol and Tuesday, and you like musical-oriented anime that really kind of dives into like the business and what it's like starting out and the relationship of music between Japan and the United States. This is great, but it is so slow. And it's one of those very, very slow burn kind of style animes. But what I think is really, really interesting is it focuses on the character Koyuki and his sort of blossoming as a teen kind of getting into music. Do you have the first audio clip?
Oh yeah.
Yes, it's in English. Deal with it.
We're not gonna get into dubs versus subs.
No.
Enjoy anime. Just enjoy anime, okay? Maybe don't watch simuldubs, because sometimes they are definitely cutting corners. But like otherwise, just enjoy yourself.
So that's Koyuki, obviously the main character. And this is taking place at a festival, and it's kind of as he's first learning to play guitar. And it kind of has this very bubblegummy kind of feel, but it's also where people start to sort of realize, as Koyuki comes in here to sing, that he's got a real talent. And everyone goes, whoa, look at that guy, he done can sing. And we talk about who's the Minetta of the show. It's this asshole. And that's probably good.
Okay.
Yeah. And like, oh. Great. And I guess this is kind of the midway of the show where he's now joined the band and is really kind of getting deep into the things. And you can see instantly sort of the energy change as he's getting a little bit more comfortable with performing and being on stage and stuff. Also, this is kind of an AMV, I guess, of it, but it was the only good like audio I could get of the song. So, relive your early days and watch the AMV.
They still happen. Man.
Do they?
YouTube, look, just any song you can think of, and then add AMV, and that song has been used for 6 anime.
Awesome.
And if it's a hard rock song, you know Vegeta is punching dudes to that song. I heard a song the other day and I was like, I bet there's an AMV of Vegeta powering up, and there were 3. It's still out there, y'all. Don't worry about it. Ben, do you want to go to the third song? Is that alright?
Yeah, but yeah, the basic premise is they're kind of like a Rage Against the Machine style band, which is really, really cool. And then, so this is kind of near like the end of the series where you really get to see Koyuki. Now he's performing like a solo act here a little bit, and you really just kind of get to see how he's developed. And being at the time, like a teenager, kind of before I started doing all of this stuff like that, this is a lot of what really inspired me to like make stuff, do something. And if you have a thing that you want to do, and it's worth it to spend all like your energy to try and make it happen, and then yeah, you get stuff like this.
It's a really great show. Right, and Ben is right. It is a slow burn. It is like, but I think the payoff is totally worth it.
Yeah,
and the ride is worth it too.
Yeah. It has like both it has both Japanese soundtrack as well as English soundtrack. They had all the voice actors actually fully put out the songs and produced them and stuff. It's just really great. And this was my first anime, and the anime that made me go, this is neat. What's this Naruto thing? And that began my anime career.
I do not recommend watching the live action movie because they cut the singing.
Yeah.
It's
But
really irritating.
Boo!
Yeah.
Right? It's like the core of the entire story.
I mean,
of singing. It's like nothing.
Oh God, we could do a whole panel about live action and like,
No.
you're like, oh man, you're like, this was. It's like the initial D one is like not bad. Like, I mean, I was like.
Okay, all right. That's enough.
Jacob
That's-
feels uncomfortable. Let's move on. Welcome to Demon School. All right, well, thank you, because look, episode 22 came out today. Episode 23 comes out next week. It's almost over, so I can't tell you overall if this full season is worth it. I can tell you that up till the last episode I watched is great. What if you were a nice young little boy, and then your parents, who have always taken advantage of you, made the ultimate score and sold your soul to a demon? And then that demon said, hey, you have to go to school. Because that demon doesn't want your soul or your body or anything. He just wants to be a grandpa because his 2 closest friends have grandkids and he's jealous of that. So he adopts a grandkid. You know the classic story.
this is so my jam.
Yeah.
Like I love stories of powerful characters that just want to do some mundane ass thing.
And Iruma doesn't have, he's a human. And none of the demons he goes to school with ever met humans, but they have been taught to eat them or hate them or whatever. But they don't know. They don't know he's not a demon. He has to pretend he is. And because he's just the best, he's just a best boy, he accidentally becomes awesome. And he doesn't want to stand out, but that makes him stand out even more. And while the show is about him, yes, it's more about Clara, who is the, what I'm about to do show now is my first attempt ever at taking a bunch of clips, showcasing how great a character is, and making my own montage. And I did it because, oh God, she's just the best. She just becomes chibi of herself a lot. Her ability is her pockets, and anything she sees, she can duplicate. She just seems like a nonsense person.
みんな違って面白いな。クララはどうだ今何か
Most of these characters, you don't need to know anything about them. They're just other weirdos in the misfit class. Well, except for Alice, who should be at the top of the class, but Iruma beat him in a fight, and now he thinks Iruma is trying to take over the school.
Who is that handsome
Oh,
boy?
Saburo? The dude that wants to be Demon King because that's the coolest thing you can do? He would be the main character if this anime was a little more serious, because he like wants to be the Demon King because there's nothing cooler than being the Demon King.
それは無視色仕掛けしかない
Because he doesn't know that he's in a goofy anime. He thinks he's in a serious anime. So he's like, yeah, I picked a fight with a teacher my first day. That's what you do.
Ben, get some fucking toast. This shit is your jam.
Oh, man.
This is one of my favorite gags in the world, is that her shoes, even though they have eyes, aren't demons or anything, they're just her shoes, but she acts like they are, and it's the not magic in a world of magic. I made this too long, I know, I will cede some time here and there. Also, I had to make this like a very tiny video, so it's...
言語行動ともに理解
Yeah, they got familiars. Iruma made his teacher his familiar by accident, and it's led to a bunch of fun problems. But yeah. Also, Clara, all her siblings are just like her and her mom, and there's multiple songs. They just break into a musical at multiple times about how about the best family in the world. And you listen to the song and you're like, yeah, I buy it. Yeah, it's the best. So, welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun. Also, comedies don't get double-length seasons. They get 12 episodes or 10 episodes. They don't get 23 episodes. So, like, I don't know. It's on Crunchyroll right now, and I think it's just charming and weird. I would say the second half, you know that there's going to be a problem, and the anime knows there's going to be a conflict, but the anime takes its sweet time, like it shouldn't have been 23 episodes. Also, there's this dude he's just a perv, but you don't want to punch him in the face. You just wish he would disappear off the screen faster. Because he's just a guy that like he's in the Misfits class because he's too horny. That's it. It's kind of annoying.
He's the Minetta.
Yeah, he is the Minetta. That's why his name is in purple. Because I had more time to do that. But yeah, I genuinely really like the show. I think it's sweet and fun, and I think the ways that Iruma, who is still just a human, avoids conflict are enjoyable. And I wanted to include a few things that weren't sad in the panel. Well, let's talk about Ping Pong the animation.
So, Ping Pong the animation. I went to Japan and Uniqlo was doing a corporate crossover thing, and I had a chance to buy some Ping Pong shirts, but I hadn't seen it yet, and so I didn't know that I had to do that. It's really unfortunate.
You messed up the future you.
This is the story of Ping Pong.
Good night.
What the fuck?
First of all, it's directed by my favorite director, Masaaki Yuasa.
Yeah.
It's these two boys in high school. They've been childhood friends. One of them bullied the other one basically into playing ping pong so that he would have fun.
Like friends do.
Like friends do.
The
And
worst bully.
They're very high-level competitive players. They interact a lot with other champions, and even like a foreign exchange student that was brought over who, because of his skill at ping pong.
Is it a ping pong school?
Nope, just a regular school.
As I said, if you like a thing, there's an anime about it. And there's a good, that's the other thing, there's a good anime about the thing that you like.
Yeah.
In this case, if you like ping pong, congratulations, there's an excellent anime about that. Do you want to show a little video?
Yeah.
What? Damn!
Yeah. The show
What?
itself is
Damn,
not
ping
black
pong!
and white, but this is kind of a general sense of the style and the great like sweeping camera movements that'll happen, as well as Yuasa usually goes through this kind of sketchy style and stuff's really moving. There's a great mix of digital and like artistic effects. Like a lot of the stuff looks watercolory. This is amazing.
Say.
What was the pitch like? We're like, we want to make an anime about ping pong. Here is all the money for all of this amazing animation. Like, oh, holy balls!
Yeah. It's also animated in Flash. Yeah.
It's not nice to lie.
No, this is Flash animated.
Alright, we'll jump to the other,
It was down so that's why he's playing in so many matches.
I'm sorry this is English. I did not watch the English one. I don't necessarily agree with some of the casting.
No, it's not my favorite dub, but also I don't have a lot of favorite dubs. Actually, everyone's favorite dub is the show you watch first in dub and then later watch in Japanese.
Sailor Moon.
If you go that way, you don't think the dub is bad. You're just like, oh, this is cool. If you start watching the dub after you watch the sub, then you're like, no, that's not what they sound like.
Yeah, this is the Funimation trailer.
Yeah.
I love it. It just
We all
goes
know
like
the best
really
dub is
high
Ghost.
detailed
Ghost
ping pong
Story.
battles.
This is some Aeon Flux shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it mostly has to do with like being in high pressure environments and having a lot of high expectations put on you by like adults or yourself. So like that character is basically raised to be a ping pong champion and he's gonna go spend some private time in the bathroom before each match because the pressure is really huge.
Okay, there was a kid with a robot mask dabbing.
Yep.
And there was a butterfly man?
Yeah.
Yeah, his name is Butterfly Joe. He's the coach.
Does he... Are the
Sometimes
wing-
there are metaphors in this anime, and sometimes there are just things that are happening.
Are the wings a part of him?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he transforms into a little
Alright, I guess
robot
no
man.
further questions.
It's how he becomes good at ping pong. That's it. It's just about getting good at ping pong and growing up. Watch it.
I'm different now.
So, it wasn't my immediate goal. My goal for this panel was that you would walk out of here with a couple things that you were like, shit, does anyone remember what the name of that anime was? It was doing that thing, and then you're like gonna tweet at me later, or more likely you're gonna tweet at Ben later and be like, what was the name of this?
It's a very long name, yeah.
And that was kind of my goal. A sub goal is that people that are also on the panel are gonna be like, wait, what's this? What?
I'm about Butterfly Wingman.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, Butterfly.
And also that guy that wants to punch the teachers in your show.
Oh yeah.
He was super handsome.
Saburo rules.
I found my new husbando. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Also, he is a little shitty for like 5 minutes and then immediately becomes supportive
Okay.
because he's like, I respect your power, and but he is just a nice guy. Anyway, I can't go back because we have to go forward because Jacob and I both want to talk about Laid Back Camp, which is so. Here's the thing. Laid Back Camp fucking rules. There's Heya Camp, which is the like little 3-minute things are happening right now. You don't have to watch them live. You can just wait till the end. There's going to be a second season. I don't know what the live action drama is. I have no concept of that. I am not going down that rabbit hole. I can't start watching live action dramas based on anime. Please don't make me start. But I can tell you, and Jacob, I believe, can attest, this is just a good damn time. This anime just is great. Yeah. Jacob.
This is something that you can watch safely.
Yeah.
The only meat in the show is in the fucking curry and the nabe pot that they eat out on the mountain. The entire fucking show, the whole fucking thing is, we want to go camping, let's go camping. And then they go camping. The promise of the show is in the first episode. There's no question, do they go camping? Because they show them camping camping in the first fucking episode. And then they show you how they got to camping, and then camping happens, and it's great. The fucking end.
It starts with like all five of them being, oh, I'm glad all five of us could finally go camping. And then the whole series is leading up to that moment where all five of them go camping. Also, there's a dog that's great. And there's a teacher that drinks when she's not working. And that's not the best, but it's not even really Minetta worth. Really? Maybe it is. And we're just...
It's a mid at best.
Yeah. It is... Also... there are two important facts I need to say about the show before we show a couple clips. One, this show, there is no wrong way to camp. There are two different points of view about what's the best way to camp, solo camping, group camping, but the show concludes, as long as you're camping, it's cool. The other point I need to make is, one of my favorite things that exists pretty much exclusively in Japan is the notion is if your manga or anime is very good, it changes the culture. So in this particular instance, because it is camping in or around Mount Fuji and spends a lot of time talking about how awesome Mount Fuji is and how awesome camping is, people wanted to start camping more in Japan, and tourism to Mount Fuji dramatically increased as the show went on because Japan was like, that makes it seem real cool. All right, let's go. In the same way that Slam Dunk literally made basketball happen in Japan because an anime was good, the Japanese kids were like, why don't we get to play basketball? And now they do? This show was just like, you should buy some camping gear, bro. And people were like, yeah, let's do this thing. That's what I want to do for my high school trip. Let's go camping.
Before we show the clip, also,
Yeah.
I go camping all the fuck time. I enjoy it. I get out into the woods, away from everybody, but mostly myself. You can laugh at that, it's okay. Okay, or don't, that's fine. I like to make things really awkward because then there's nowhere to go but up. You're doing great, you're really on a roll. Japanese camping shit, I am absolutely obsessed with. I have a lot of Japanese stuff. I used to live in Japan. I don't give a fuck what you think of me. I know what I'm about. It's fine. The tiny little camping gear that they have in this show is real and exists, and I'm going to fucking buy some when I go back to Japan this year, and it makes me so happy because it's so tiny, and I'm very tiny, and this show is great. And there was a little promotional thing of one of the voice actresses going camping for the first time, and you can find it on Crunchyroll, and you should watch it because it's fucking amazing and goddamn adorable, and she eats nabe, and Mount Fuji is there, and it's great, and you just want to put everything in your pocket and take it home, and you can because it's all tiny. Roll the clip.
So there's a little bit of a chibi version of it, which is the room camp element, where you get some narration, and the narration is just like a guy telling you stuff about camping that's all accurate and true.
They're practicing camping.
They started at a camping club, because the outdoors club isn't about camping, it's about doing things outdoors that isn't camping, and they were like, no, we want to do a camping club. Nadesco is the pink-haired girl who is ostensibly the main character. You're going to see Rin, the other main character, in a moment.
あ、棒が折れちゃったよ。テントってああなっちゃったらどうすんの？買い替え？
And then they teach you about camping.
って修理か。
Rin, who we're about to see a little bit more of, loves camping and is a solo camper. And there's nothing wrong with that. And the show wants to make sure you understand it's fine. You can totally camp if you want to by yourself.
You can like what you like, how you like it, that's it.
じゃあ私が行ってくんね。おせっかい焼き目。
I just got my hair did.
Yeah.
I'm so exhausted
あい
now.
つ、まさか同じ学校だったとは。
They have met previous to this
見
scene.
つかったらめんどくさそうだから気をつけよう。
And then, just, And then they're like, oh, do you know about camping? Do you know where the camping club? And the girl that just helped him, she goes, no, I don't want to join the camping club. But, spoiler alert, she joins the camping club. Because they go camping. And I'm going to show this because this is where I was like, wait, this show cares so much.
Wow.
焚き火台に木製ローチェア。なんかコーヒーのシーン。
This is all I want in life.
So I was like,
Oh my
wait.
god, it's like they mashed us together.
That's our dad!
We finally found him.
He looks so much like
Oh my god.
Well, Jacob, you got his beard, and Ben, you got his shirt.
Man, our dad's hot.
Yeah, right?
That's not weird.
Oh.
いただきます。
Yes.
And then like 2 episodes later, she's buying a skillet and figuring out how to like do because that dude, that's that dude's thing. This is something I will not spoil, but I will say, I was like, why do they spend so much energy on that old man? And there is a good reason why they spend so much energy crafting that classy old grandpa, because he's important. But also, this show just wants you to know that camping is cool as shit. It desperately needs you to know that this is going to be a good time. And also, there's a point where people put on Santa costumes, and I was like, why is this happening? But I loved it. And it's not creepy. And even though there's an onset bit, that's not creepy at all. And it's actually not creepy and not, well, you know. No, it's literally not.
A min at best.
No, not even that. I would say there's like, I would say like, yeah, the teacher, like, that's kind of a problem.
You know what? You're right. It's a
Yeah. Laid back camp fucking rules. And if Jacob hadn't brought it up, I would have to give up another show I want to talk about instead to talk about that. And I can't wait for season 2 and the movie. And on Monday there'll be another episode of Hey at Camp. And yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep.
This show is not laid back.
No, it's not, man.
This show has zero chill. And much like your emotions are completely devastated like in Fullmetal Alchemist, as Jacob went over, this one's like that, but you get to watch it happen again and again and again and again. If you're not familiar, this is a kind of a really cool classic anime. And if you've seen shows like Durarara, same director. And this was actually kind of like the predecessor, I guess, a little bit to it when it came through like anime production. So yeah, it's super, super cool. It's basically a show about, I guess, immortals through like 1930s and into 1950s kind of Manhattan.
Fashion is awesome in this show.
It's very, very cool. If you like the theme song to Cowboy Bebop, you'll sure as shit like the theme song to this one. It's very, very good. The kind of core thing, though, that I wanted to touch on, which is really interesting about Baccano, is there isn't a main character, really, in this show. It's told through this perspective of so many different characters, and it's kind of up for you to decide who's the main character. In fact, that's kind of a through line for the whole story. The characters that are most important, though, are the two in the top left-hand corner, Isaac and Miria, who are amazing and are exactly the kind of people I would be if I was immortal, which is just kind of doing whatever. Having no real agenda other than having a good time, which is set up by this clip. I think the audio is a little quiet, so you may have to jack it on this one.
Hi. Where are you going?
My friend, we are going to hunt down the rail tracer.
We're going to ask it very nicely to get off the train. What if it
The
doesn't
rail
work?
tracer is a murderer.
What if that doesn't work?
worry. If things get ugly, I'll use my trusty 100 guns.
But you don't have any guns.
How about that? But you know what? A grizzled old ranch hand asked me once. Know where a real cowboy keeps his gun? His heart.
Try not to die, okay? Bye.
They rule so much.
And they're amazing. But it's a really, really cool anime. I have to say, if there is kind of a Mineta, it would be it's quite graphic. It's a very graphic show. There is a character by the name of Vlad Russo, who's messed up. But yeah, the kind of, I guess if things like gore and whatnot kind of skeeve you out, this might not be your jam. However, I think they do it in this kind of very well-produced sort of way where you also know that a lot of them are immortal. So it's like, all right.
I mean, I guess that happened.
Yeah.
But the music rules. The
The music is so
good.
good. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all I gotta say. Go watch Baccano if you haven't. I know it seems like a bunch of people have, and I think from that reaction you can attest that it's pretty dang good.
It is. So you may have noticed a pattern in the anime I'm talking about, which is that, well, one is a comedy, but they are slice of life shows. That is a genre I didn't, for a decade, didn't know that I loved and desperately needed in my life. It was probably because when I was watching, when I was watching Yu Yu Hakusho, I probably needed that and didn't need a chill vibe. But now I definitely do. So sometimes when I just need to watch it, the show I'll go back to, the show where even though magic is the point of the show, nothing fucking happens, is Flying Witch.
Sorry, this show's really cute.
So Flying Witch is about a apprentice witch who moves into the mountains to live with her like second cousins or whatever to study witchcraft. I will tell you that there is a huge whale that the flying whale that an ancient civilization used to live on. I will tell you that there is a ghost that works at a restaurant. I can tell you that there is all kinds of transformation magic that happens. There's a mandrake they dig out of the ground that if you listen to it too closely, you could go insane.
And it's
But
double
none of
thick.
that matters because it's just about being chill and figuring stuff out. Like this scene, which should have a lot of weight to it, but definitely doesn't. Her
魔女っぽい。魔女ですよ。
Yeah, witchcraft is real and they all know that, but everyone's just real chill about it. This person who turns into a dog all the time because of a messed up wish or spell.
I am enthralled.
Right? That's just a shot of him about to laugh. There's a moment where they're doing witch stuff, and he just turns and starts watching the video that he rented. Like, witchcraft is just like, yeah, whatever, I guess. One of the most action-packed moments of the show is when they're chasing a bird around trying to catch this rooster. Like, that's like high stakes. It's just a delightful, chill thing. I love Flying Witch so much. The older sister who is there on the right, she's great and shows up in and out. The cat goes on adventures at some point and it's just great. I can't recommend Flying Witch enough. I'm moving fast because we don't have a lot of time left. We literally don't have a lot of time left.
Lightning round.
Lightning round, yeah.
Lightning round. So yeah, Flying Witch. I cannot imagine a better, more of a laid-back show.
So Nichijou is a gag series. It's all about comedy. It's about a lot of visual stuff and being awkward dorks a lot of the time.
Talk over it.
Yeah.
Do it other stuff.
There's a whole bunch of characters. Mostly it focuses on a few and a robot and a professor who is 5. And watch it, definitely, for sure.
Have you ever seen that shot of a balding principal wrestling a deer, and you're like, what the fuck?
They suplex a lot of things in that show.
Yeah. That's this show.
This reminds me of Azumanga
It's similar to Azumanga Daioh.
Yeah.
Also, there's a clip of like a girl getting like hit in the shin, and then like the scream echoes out into space. Like, you've seen clips of this, and you're like, oh, wait, that's what this show is? It's this.
Awesome.
Yeah, they also do a whole season, I guess, where the ending theme is just like traditional kids songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have to watch
Oh, lightning round.
Yeah.
Lightning round, yeah.
Yep, lightning round.
This was the ending. It's cute. It's great.
They do different versions of this song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you only watched the ending themes, you would think it was a different anime, which I like. Like, this is not the anime. It's cute, but it's not what you're gonna watch.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, it's great. Jacob, you sent me this, and I was like, what are you fucking talking about?
This is we yell about anime we like, not anime we are unaware of. I get it. And of course Sony was gonna talk about this, and it's fucking me. This anime is fucked up. I like it very much. Yeah, we're gonna talk the fuck over this. The intro song is baller. It is an important part of my personal childhood. It is important to a lot of people. There is fucked up shit. This show starts off as, hey, cool, giant robots fighting stuff, and ends with, fuck!
But at what cost?
But at what cost? This was the anime that showed that to me. This is a very problematic show in a lot of ways. There is no way to extract the good shit from the bad shit. It's just part of it, and that sucks. You cannot watch this safely. Don't try!
There's a penguin that lives in a fridge, and that should tell you it's an okay show, but they're tricking you. Because this show is about selling music. This show is, what if I could get you a time slot and we sold this music, and you can do whatever you want in that time slot, and someone said, okay, this is what I'm gonna do.
This show is full of lies, and if you walk into the lion's den covered in meat, you will learn something, and that's what watching this show is like. Fuck! I'm done.
Yeah. Look, I can't.
Hey.
And then, hey, what about an anime about Japanese ghost stories, Ben?
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
Are you really dead inside like me and horror is the only genre that fulfills you in any way anymore? Someone's getting nodding like, oh yeah! Yamishibai is amazing. It is very small, little 5 to 7 minute episodes, all told in like I think it's called Kamishibai. I probably butchered that. Thank you.
Nope,
Yeah. Of like Japanese street theater, of like folk tales and urban horror stories. Look at that! They still managed to convey some real messed up stuff. Thank you for doing this to yeah. If you really enjoy horror and you like the slow kind of just like I'm just uncomfortable the whole time that this is going on, Yamishibai is fantastic, and there's like 8 friggin' seasons, so there's plenty for you to go through and watch. do that.
Ben, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I have to stop now.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to quickly list the shows that we didn't get a chance to talk about, but you should check out anyway on your own. Here's your homework. Yamaguchi Pedal. What if an otaku was actually really good at biking, and he just wants to talk about anime, but all he knows now is jocks. And this dude is a creepo, but he also knows anime, and that is the fatal flaw. Is the only guy that knows anime is that dude. Senryu Girl is a little half series about a girl that just writes poems, and this fucking dude, this dumb meat man that I love so much. Giant Robo is a classic. Shirobaka is beautiful. Girls Last Summer also has this. Sword Art Online. Look. Within all of Sword Art Online, before Alicization, there is a good anime. Somewhere in all of that mess, someone has made a supercut to make it good. Cannon Busters is fun.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing a panel next. We have to stop because it's 7. But literally at 7:30 in this room, I'm doing a panel called Let's Rank It with Dave Lag. He asked me to do it. And go and join the line if you want to come back for that. I would ask you to stay, but there's too many of you to do that.
You fucking rule. Thank you for
Thank
being
you all
here.
so much. Twitter.com/Pat Baer. I will be putting this video up on YouTube and listing all of the shows we talked about. So come watch that. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Thank you so much for coming out, Boston and Air Cities.